let me go ahead and introduce the panelists for today quickly. Reverend Father Godvyn Saldanha, he's a trustee of the Pune Diocesan Educational Society. The way I said, they have a huge history and a huge heritage with them. And I'm also an alumni of this educational society. So it's really good to have you, Father, here. And he's always with us. And as an educational leader who believes that, yes, we ought to take some decisions for safe childhood. So welcome, Father Godvyn Saldanha. I have with me Reverend Father Godvyn Saldanha, and I look up to his experience, and I definitely have been wanting to ask you this question, that you are the trustee of this reputed Pune Diocesan Educational Society, which has like so many schools and a huge network, a huge presence, and you've been in India, you've possibly been in India, probably pre-independence as well. So you've been running the educational sector so well, the entire aegis of Pune Diocese. What are the challenges of the trustees, the management, institutions overall when it comes to dealing with the subject of child sexual abuse? It would be good to know from your side as an educational institution head, what do you think are the major challenges that trustees and educational institutional heads face when it comes to child sexual abuse? And what do you think should be done to overcome it?
Hi, Nusrat. Good evening. Good evening to every one of y'all. I would like to focus on two important aspects, Nusrat. As a trustee and as a principal of schools for almost last 18 years, there are two things that I have noticed. So you'll be surprised that even till date, you have many parents, many teachers who have been coming and asking me whether these things really happen, whether children are really abused in their own homes, sometimes by their own relatives or by strangers, whether they choose to be ignorant. And therefore, that is very important, that we fail to understand whether these people who sometimes are very educated, and when they ask such questions, whether they are ignorant about the facts or whether they choose to be ignorant. And therefore, with my experience, I have found out that more or less it is the fear within them with regard to such things happening in society and the things related to such things which makes them to choose to be ignorant. Oh?
Yeah.
Sorry. Especially the stigma in society when such things happen, maybe in their own families. That is what sometimes there is this kind of a fear, and sometimes the legal hassles in our own country, in India. When we speak, there are so many legal hassles which people have to go through, and therefore that kind of a fear which has set into the people's mind, which makes them to choose to be ignorant about such matters. And third thing is the media. I would really very strongly say that the media sometimes have spoiled the entire awareness that people like you, who have tried to see that how we can conscientize people about these issues which are really serious. What the media has done is they have sometimes made the abusers as heroes. I would straight away say this. And this is very bad, because the abused child is not even spoken of. What exactly happens to the child, nobody is concerned about it. It's only organizations like you who see to it that how the psychological development, the growth that is hampered of the child is taken care of. Otherwise, more focus is on the abuser. They want to see that the abuser is taken to task. But very importantly, we have destroyed a child. I think so that kind of understanding has to go into the people's mind. And therefore, my problem is this, that we are living in some sort of a choosing to be ignorant because of these fear factors which are associated with these kind of issues.
Okay. Father, what about the response of the educational institutional heads? What do you think? Because just before you, Manisha said that she's been trying to gather a team of teachers from her school and officially get them to join this conference, or maybe some other thing that is going to enlighten them and help them. But don't you think that the will of the educational institutional heads is extremely important in kind of accelerating this awareness and the things that can help children and parents at one level?
Yes, it is very, very important that the educational heads take the initiative in seeing to it that they set up programs in schools. It's very, very important because teachers are there to help you out to see that children are formed, and this is one part of a formation. Therefore, on the first day, I was very much impressed by Mrs. Feather, who showed on a slideshow the two children were shown, the outline itself, and the important parts of the body were closed. They were not shown, and the teachers teaching, these are my hands, these are my eyes. That means a child is supposed to, it's taken for granted that the child is supposed to know without teaching the private parts of the body. So what does it mean? This shows the mindset of our society today, even after so many years of independence. And therefore, the schools have to take up initiatives where we need to encourage sex education. I would strongly appeal that this has to come into the educational system, and therefore, the new education policy that has come. Now, after 36 years, we have come up with a policy, and I find nothing which speaks of how we can move ahead with regard to sex education, which is the need of the hour.
Which is the need of the hour. Thank you, Father, for these insights, and it's really important, the role of the educational institutions. And a very important point that I took is, one is the fear factor, then the reputation, and also the fact that we are choosing to be ignorant. We are choosing to say, oh, I don't know, does this happen? So a beautiful point mentioned by Father Godvyn Saldanha.